I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good afternoon, Ilks Reyes. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I'm doing good. Actually, it's very early morning here from where I am. So I'm from Southeast Asia here, specifically in the Philippines.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's 2:30 a.m. here. But it's a
Wow!
pleasure. It's a pleasure talking to you, man.
Wow, Ix, I do appreciate you being up at this hour. Wow, it's why you're wearing those darkers, isn't it? In your Facebook profile. Yeah.
No, a famous profile. Actually, that picture. I think is from my visit in New York. It was
Okay,
a couple of years back.
okay. I thought it was because, and I'm jokingly saying this, that your eyes don't get much rest, right? Wow. Well, hey, I appreciate this tremendously. Well, tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's about talent. So I personally believe that you and I are like-minded individuals from basically different parts of the world. So I share your passion of wanting to relate with people. And personally, for me, I'd like to use the little things I've learned in my previous corporate life and inspire people towards a fulfilling career using digital media.
Hmm. Intriguing. So, who did you learn this from?
Well, through the years, I've met a lot of people, and some of them has become a mentor. So it's no specific person, but a bunch of people that I've worked with before. Overall experience is a great source of learning, but for me, the bottom line really is making sure that I stay curious, because that fuels my drive to learn, and not just learning in itself, but seeing how I apply what I've learned, and if I apply it, how it could affect my life.
Hmm. Tell me about your podcast, X.
Oh, my podcast is the name of my podcast is Life Goals. So the way I describe it, it's we talk about things about stuff about life, love, and learning. So almost anything under the sun we talk about, but the main goal really is to find inspiration in every type of situation.
Hmm. Who did you learn the skills to do podcasting from?
Oh, podcasting. I'm not sure if I have the right skills for that, but because I've been around for quite a while. No, I'm not a young guy. Um, so it's basically just conversing with people the way we're doing things right now. So I had to learn some of the technical stuff,
Right.
trying to find the right equipment, and also the different platforms. But basically, in terms of doing podcasting in itself, no, it's just basically conversing with people. And I think if you keep it as simple as that, it becomes a genuine discussion between two individuals.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, tell me one other thing, X, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
You know what? If I were to sum it up in one word, it would be reflection. Yeah, the past 3 years was kind of interesting to me because most of my life I spent my time just looking ahead, putting in the work, if you know what I mean, just
Mm.
basically digging in and trying to make a living. But the past 3 years, I was sort of nearing the apex of my career at the time. So I started reflecting consistently on what I have achieved so far and if I was satisfied with where my work has been taking me. So I guess the past 2 years, I became more of a reflective person.
How does that make you feel?
Well, first of all, it made me appreciate the people that have influenced my life, also the events that have shaped my career and the overall experiences, takeaways, and the blessings that I had. Secondly, there's a feeling of not really emptiness, but more of a void where you ask yourself, so what's next? And you question whether what you have done up to this point is truly aligned to what you really want to do. And because of those, it made me feel hungry as well. No, hungry for more things, hungry for other things, different things, more creative things.
Mm. Why would you suggest to someone that's listening that they do what you've done?
Well, the only thing that I would actually suggest is to constantly take the time to reflect because this will give you clarity, which could then reinforce your life's purpose. So for me, you just need to do what you really want to do. Life is short, man. So
Hmm.
whether that comes from you have joy in doing whatever it is, or maybe it's because of love, you're doing it for someone that you love, or maybe it's for a higher purpose or a sense of responsibility. Whatever it is, you identify what you really want to do, and just set out to do it.
Amazing audience, you're hearing it live here from Ilks Reyes. Again, he is the podcast host of Life Goals Podcast. Ilks,
Thank you, Angel.
you're welcome. Let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Ilks, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Thinking about that, I remember when I was quite young, I remember sleeping on the floor near the door entrance of our house, so I would know when my dad arrives from work. He was the first bone doctor in the whole province where we were living, and he was quite busy back then. So he goes home late nights, and I would sleep on the floor so that I would know when he's there.
Wow, how old do you think you were?
I think I'd be around 4 or 5 at the time.
Wow, why do you think this memory is so clear and how do you see it connecting to who you are today?
Well, I'm not sure. No, probably it was because it's the first time that I've been, missing someone. Or I was missing my dad a lot of times there. So I think it now shaped me into a sort of an emotional individual.
Yeah.
So whether it's friends or colleagues, I put a lot of emotion into the relationships that I have.
That's amazing. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah, sure.
One of the things most definitely that comes in reflection is a posture. And I think it's one where, like, you've made up your mind to be
Hmm.
still, if you would, to then reflect. But to see that you, my friend, are a child and the reflection that it would have taken to understand that if I slept by the door, I would then be aware of when he arrived. Wow, for me, that is fascinating. And to see that you are the individual that are helping others understand how they too can reflect through their life goals and the importance of it, that's intriguing.
Wow. Wow. That's a pretty good explanation from your end.
Hmm. Wow. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I'm gonna have to say Piano Man by Billy Joel. So, which was kind of weird because most of my friends were into rock or new wave at that time. So, I'm probably the only 12-year-old at that time listening to Billy Joel.
Yeah. I mean, the music does call for reflection again, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Well, Ix, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it'll be yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly
Mm-hmm.
here. Are you ready, Ix?
Yeah, sure.
Ix, have you
Yeah,
chosen
sure.
someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I'm hoping to pass all my learnings to my son. He's already 70 years old, but hopefully I'll be able to pass on to whatever knowledge I have to the network and community that I'm building through my blog and podcast.
Are you married?
Well, what I can say is I'm very much in love right now, and I'm in a wonderful relationship for quite a while.
All right, so you have a 17-year-old. Do you have any other children?
Well, I have a stepdaughter.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I'm actually a Freemason, and that is one of the requirements for being a Freemason that you believe in one supreme being.
Hmm. Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, a very tight and a very small circle of friends, and these are people that doesn't judge me in any way, and they are just there to lend an ear or a hand whenever I need one.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
TV barely, maybe less than 3 hours a week.
All right, and what about screen time, the phone and of the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Well, perhaps about 8 hours a day. That's just as an estimate, not less than 8 hours a day, I guess.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
Well, when I was still a corporate slave, so to speak, first, that's an awesome acronym you got there. So your own unique real statement, yours. No, so I really like that.
Thank you.
So, but before I started website, blogging, podcast, no, I always say that strategy is useless without tactics. That's what I would always say, and I would spell tactics with that includes my name, IKS at
IKS.
the end. Yes.
Oh,
Because when I started, I always hear about, very general directions. And I was a firm believer of having enough grounded knowledge to determine the specific actions you need to do to get results. But now, since I'm into, podcasting, career advice, I always say find inspiration in every situation. So whether it's in a relationship, a job, a business, whatever kind of situation you are in, there's always a space for inspiration. And I believe that when we have that mentality, we can accomplish a lot more.
Ilks Reyes, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for having me here and shout out to everyone who's listening to this episode. And hopefully, I get to hear more about their own stories, their own unique stories in the future.
Ilks Reyes, my friend, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.